GNCC is back for round number 2 of the 2024 Progressive Grand National Cross Country Racing Series. This is the Moose Racing Wild Boar GNCC, arguably one of the most grueling and toughest rounds of the season. It's just round number 2. Gerard coming off a sensational performance. Can he keep it up here today? All that and more starts right here, right now on Racer TV.
Are you ready to go? GNCC Racing!
Hello and welcome to round number 2 of the 2023 Progressive Grand National Cross Country Racing Series, presented by Specialized, your AMA National Championship here in Palatka, Florida for the Moose Racing Wild Boar GNCC. Mikey Wayne's here. I'll be taking you through today's racing action, and we begin, as always, with our Specialized race recap. Round number 1, the Big Buck GNCC up in South Carolina. Off to a red hot start was the 212 Ampro Yamaha of Ricky Russell, getting things going, but it didn't take long for the 969 FMF Red Bull Factory Racing KTM of Johnny Gerard to find himself out in front. And Ricky Russell falling back to that number 2 spot. Craig DeLong had a pretty good day going early in this one, as did Jordan Ashburn, certainly in the fight, in the thick of it. And Stu Baylor, you saw him there in the mix. And there he is, the 514 up and around the 212 Ampro Yamaha. And there is Craig DeLong on that Rockstar Energy Husqvarna, keeping pace with those guys. But boy, as the race went on, again, Johnny Gerard, who's had some ups and downs over the last couple of seasons, really putting on a performance. Stu Baylor would charge hard at the end, as would the 314 of Grant Baylor. But when the checkered flag flies, it was that man right there, the 969 of Johnny Gerard, capturing the first win of the 2024 season. We had a chance to catch up with Gerard after the race. As we take a look at the top 10 board there, again, it was Gerard, Baylor on the bookends of the podium, if you will, and then Ashburn and Evan Smith. Great ride for him.
I felt good. You know, I went to ISD after the season was over and didn't have much of an off season, and yeah, I was right back down in Florida, and kind of never skipped a beat this off season, and yeah, I guess it shows, and paid off, and yeah, I feel good for this season, and I love Florida. The sand whoops are next, so let's get it.
So there you have it, Johnny Gerard feeling good after a win in round number 1. We're off and rolling now at the Wild Boar GNCC Steel City Men's Clinic. Whole shot award up for grabs. Oh, goes down. It's going to be Jordan Ashburn on that Coastal Racing Factory gas ride out in front, grabbing the whole shot and the early lead for the XC1 class. And Gerard, boy, going to have his work cut out for him here. As you saw him go down on the start, the 969 will now have to work from the back of the pack. Boy, not where you want to be if you are Johnny Gerard. Ashburn out in front, holding it down. Stu Baylor in that number 2 spot. Great start for him, as well as the rest of the XC1. A lot of rain coming into the race weekend in Palatka. Always a gnarly round. The sand whoops, the palmettos. You add the rain. While the rain doesn't, it's just different. I don't know how else to describe it. It's swampy, it's nasty, it also stinks. But we embrace it. We go down there, and hey, tough love for everybody. Why not? Steel City Men's Clinic, whole shot award up for grabs again in the XC2 250 Pro class. And I believe that is Toby Cleveland, if I am not mistaken, grabbing that whole shot and early lead, moving up to the XC2 this season, and has had some success. As the rest of the XC2 pack, of course, it was Gus Reardon coming off. That was what I was trying to think of. Coming off the win in round number 1. Can he have a repeat performance here today? It was Liam Draper with a number 2 spot. And recapping, it was Grant Davis rounding out that box. Grant Davis, the young rider up into the XC2 ranks this year. Going to be interesting to see how he does. But boy, just a great ride by all three of those guys. But how about that? Liam Draper buried about middle of the pack right there. As we take a look now at the FMF XC3 125 Pro-Am class Low Jack Cycle Sales Hole Shot Award up for grabs in the XC1. And you gotta love that. The man on the KTM, no front number plate. Run what you brought. That's what it's all about right there. The 125 falls back into the number 2 position there. But boy, the 125 FMF XC3 class, it was Dakota DeVore coming off that win in round 1. See if he can repeat that today. Jack Walker with a second, and Dustin Simpson with a third. He jumped back out in front here with the XC1 guys still pretty tight. From top to bottom, looked like that might have been Johnny Gerard there on the move. Has picked up a couple of positions, and boy, tough break. Evan Smith falling to the back of the pack. Got his work cut out for him coming off that 5th place finish in round number 1. And again, these guys about single file there. Stu Baylor back in about the 5 position. There is Josh Strang on that JS7 Sherco and Grant Baylor. And then there is Evan Smith, still trying to keep pace with the XC1. Well, Jordan Ashburn, the Coastal Racing Factory Gas with the lead. Johnny Gerard goes down with that reverse plate. Can he rebound and bring it back out front? We'll be right back after this. Progressive GNCC Racing is brought to you by Progressive. Progressive could save you hundreds of dollars on your automobile and motorcycle insurance. Specialized e-turbo bicycles. It's you, only faster. RockyMountainATVMC.com. Get ready. And welcome back to GNCC here on RacerTV.com. Watching the round number 2 of the Wild Boar GNCC, our XC1 guys. Look at that, jockeying for position for that 3 spot. You gotta want it. Great aerial shot here by our Yamaha Racing live drone, just giving you guys an absolute perspective. How's that? A little BOGO action right there, a buy one, get one in the XC1. But again, this gives you a great perspective on, man, will not be denied. Moving right to the front, are you kidding me? Will be challenged. Can Ashburn fire back? Checks up into the 2 spot. But mercy sakes, absolutely going for it is Ricky Russell. That was, that was an absolute display right there. Of course, Ricky Russell in round number 1, coming off of a 6th place finish. That's what I thought, a 6th place finish for Russell. So he wants to come out here swinging. Snodgrass trying to keep pace with the rest of the XC1 pack. And the 2-1-3. That is Toby Cleveland on that Husqvarna. Still out in front in that XC2 class as the rest of the pack starts to roll through. Toby Cleveland coming off a 5th place finish in round number 1. Would love to get a podium here today. And boy, have we seen some incredible riding out of the XC2 class. Not a great start for Liam Draper. Back of the pack for those guys. Unfortunate for him. But still ripping nonetheless. Oh, big mistake right there by Cleveland. Toby Cleveland with some troubles in Palatka. Already missing the front number plate. Gets a little sideways, able to get that machine fired back up and going. I believe that was Grant Davis in front of him. There is the 347 of Evan Smith. So the XC2 class, and there is Josh Toth. Now Toth not racing a full season with us in 2024, but nonetheless having a pretty sensational day here today. As we continue to follow the XC2 class, Liam Draper back there trying to get it going. And there is Toby Cleveland missing that front number plate. How about it? Back out front with our leaders, or maybe second and third. This might be Ashburn and Baylor. Let's see, can Baylor make the pass? Yes, he can. Baylor up the inside. So watching the XC1 from the Yamaha Racing live drone. Baylor making moves now. Plenty of options for these guys. Love to see it. And boy, how does that not speak to just how gnarly this is? The drone does a fantastic job of giving you the bird's eye view and the perspective. These guys are hauling the mail through here, and that quick camera shot down in the dirt or in the sand, putting that in perspective right there as these guys continue to battle. And sometimes, hey, you're racing the guy next to you. I would say almost more than that, you are racing the GNCC course itself as things continue to sort out. How about the ride by these two? Continuing to keep it going. Ricky Russell, a little checkup from the neck up right there. You know he hears Stu Baylor and the rest of this four-way battle as Johnny Gerard now take that Ashburn in the 3 spot. And oh no, look at this. This is the bike of Craig DeLong, your defending champ. Obviously a mishap.
When we came back, the bike started in a fire, so that was all my fault. I should have leaned it up on a tree and saved itself. So I take full blame for that one, and yeah, just unfortunate. It's the last 2 races have obviously not gone to plan. So I'm a little embarrassed just because last year I feel like I could do I could do no wrong almost last year, and this year it's just been one thing after another. So yeah, it's been tough, and yeah, we'll go from there.
Well, you hate to see that. Not the start that Craig DeLong wanted here in 2024. Didn't have a bad day in round number 1, but certainly round number 2 here, not going to be scoring any points. An 11th place finish in round number 1. You just kind of got to sit back and I guess hit the reset button. Bottom line is this. Craig DeLong's okay. He's healthy. The bike, not so much, but he will be back in round 3, ready to go to battle, ready to fight with these guys. Ashburn on screen, getting around Ricky Russell. Ricky Russell fading back just a little bit, trying to keep pace with your front runners. As Gerard and Stu Baylor out in front. And there is Baylor on that Red Bear Racing Kawasaki. Rocky Mountain ATV MC Red Bear Racing Kawasaki. And this is Gerard, I believe. Gerard moving through, no goggles. No goggles for Gerard. So is that why Gerard may have checked up a bit? Can't afford to take that roost. Roost is bad enough. You get down in the sands of Florida, and that is just painful. So Stu Baylor moving out front, looking flawless through here. Trying to capture his first win of the season. A pretty sensational ride for him so far. In the sands of Palatka, of course, Stu coming off a 2nd place finish in round number 1. Johnny Gerard finishing first. So if it stays like this, we could have a tie championship points battle heading into round 3. Nobody's going to be mad about that. Here comes Stu pushing his way through. And here comes Gerard in pursuit. Again, great example right there of, hey, these guys are battling the track as much as they are battling one another. Baylor, Gerard in that number 2 spot, the 969. Gotta hand it to Gerard. Not a great start. If you've been watching from the beginning, saw him go down on the starting line, had to work his way up through the XC1 pack and keep pursuit of Stu Baylor. Now we are getting reports, sounds like on adjusted time, Grant Davis actually up in the overall out of that XC2 class. So a great ride by Grant Davis going on back in the XC2 class. As we continue to watch these guys just manhandle the machine and force their way through what is a muddy Palatka. This is as much mud and nasty as we have seen in Palatka in a long time. Stu Baylor out front. Gerard in pursuit in the number 2 spot, 969, starting to inch his way a little bit closer to that battle with Stu Baylor. And is that Baylor down? It is. Baylor goes down, and Gerard capitalizes. So Gerard able to make the pass on Baylor. Some lap traffic in there. And now Baylor's got to go to work to catch up with Gerard. Let's see what Gerard can do out front. He'll get pressure from behind from the 514 of Stu Baylor. Baylor continues to keep pursuit. But now the man who comes away with a win in round number 1, leading this one, wanting those extra points for finishing first as the rain comes down in Florida. And at this point, do you just want it to keep raining? At this point, don't stop. Cleans off the bikes. Maybe the vision gets a little better. I don't know. What do you want in the sand? Which is worse? Gerard with a gap now. Where is the 514? There is the 514. So there is Stu Baylor still in that number 2 spot. But boy, we have got a gap back to second. Gerard with the clean number plate. Oh! He is stuck. He's in a mud hole, and this is a great example of what they face in Palatka. Hey, a line that was there early in the race, as this track develops, can be gone by the time you get to the 3rd hour of the race. Will that open up a little opportunity here? There is Baylor. Baylor takes a different line, goes the long way around, but it is a little smoother. So Baylor gets through well. Baylor able to get through there a little bit quicker than Gerard, but Gerard still with a pretty good gap out in front. Gerard, no goggles again. Gerard is just one of those guys that you know every weekend you are absolutely going to get the best out of him. There is Baylor trying to keep pursuit. Getting reports, Grant Davis still on adjusted time in that number 3 spot, flirting with the number 2 spot as Gerard comes in for a pit stop, a fresh set of goggles. Some rehydration, some words of encouragement from team manager Timmy. Nice little rainbow in the background. Gerard doing it with style. And already says, goggles got to go again. This is just man versus terrain at this point for Gerard. As now Baylor into the pits, and Baylor really into the pits. This is not good. As Stu, the goggles are off. He's talking to his wife, Jade. Jade trying to keep him cool, calm, and collected. Meanwhile, the 969, the reverse plate, the points leader, running away with it and has no challengers right now. Gerard able to get another set of goggles. Machine smoking a little bit, not a lot of bit, but a little bit. It's Gerard leading out front. Can he hang on and make it 2 for 2? We'll be right back with more on Racer TV after this. Progressive GNCC Racing is brought to you by Progressive. Progressive could save you hundreds of dollars on your automobile and motorcycle insurance. Specialized E-Turbo bicycles. It's you, only faster. Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com. Get ready. And welcome back to GNCC here on YouTube and RacerTV.com. Stu Baylor, troubles for him, able to get that machine back up and rolling. And right now it is salvage mode. Now we've got some pretty big gaps in the XC1 class. So Stu is doing all right as far as that is concerned. He's still in the number 2 spot in the XC1. But when we get down to the points, Grant Davis, having the ride that dreams were made of, now sits 2nd place on adjusted time in the OA. And here comes the 969. Johnny Gerard will stay perfect in 2024. Wow, what a sensational ride by Gerard today. Not a great start. Goes down on the start. Able to get that machine fired back up and going. Coursed his way around the entire XC1 pack. Had some incredible battles with Baylor. Baylor, unfortunately, going down. Gerard making the pass and never looking back.
Yeah, I went down first corner and, started back of the pack and kind of just picked my way through those guys and, got in a battle with Stu and we were going at it for a while there and he tucked the front end a couple times. I found myself in the lead and I said it's time to go. So, yeah, it was war.
And there he is, Stu Baylor coming in. He will finish second in the XC1. He will finish third in the overall because that young man right there, Grant Davis, captures second place here today at arguably one of the gnarliest rounds.
Oh, it's insane. And in my first XC2 win and to be on the overall podium, I don't even know what to say right now, honestly. I don't know. It feels like a dream.
Well, we take a look at your overall, and again, it is Gerard Davis from the XC2, Baylor third, Snodgrass fourth, great ride for him, and Gus Reardon fifth.
Had to do that wheel swap, and it was a little longer than it should have been, but you know, for everything that happened today, I guess it's okay. I'll take it, but pretty bummed, pretty upset with my crew, and pretty upset with some things that happened, and you know, we're gonna have to go back and get to the drawing board. It's tough because it's not just coming from a rider; it's coming from the boss as well. And you know, I've got to make sure that we don't have mistakes like this. You know, it's just much on me as anybody else, and it's just tough when you're racing and you can't really relay what messages you need.
Well, we take a look at the point standings for the championship, and how about this? Gerard, first place, a perfect 2 for 2, 60 points, as many as you can get in the first couple of rounds. Stu in second, and as far as the points are concerned, but how about it for Grant Davis? Really throwing a wrench in the gears. And Stu Baylor obviously frustrated as we're watching that Specialized race recap. You saw Gerard go down on the start. Don't count that man out. If there's one thing to be said about Johnny Gerard, it is grit. The man has got grit. Stu Baylor making moves early, getting around Ashburn and getting around. I mean, just absolutely impressive riding. Saw some great riding early, by the way. I'd be remiss not to say it, from Ricky Russell. Saw some great riding by him. Just got to carry it for that full 3 hours. Had some struggles today, no doubt about that, but some great battling between Russell, Baylor, Ashburn, Gerard. And then as things began to settle in, the two men out front was Stu Baylor and Gerard. Baylor goes down, Gerard capitalizes, gets around, puts a lapper in between them. Stu able to get back on the machine, get it fired up, and get going. But obviously some bike troubles for Stu. Ends up having to go into the pits, lost a ton of time as Gerard was able to put it in cruise control and capture his second win of the season. Grant Davis playing spoiler on the adjusted time, finishing second in the OA and putting Baylor third. That's going to wrap things up for us. We'll be back with more on YouTube and RacerTV.com. I'm Mikey Waynes. We'll see you at the races.